If you fail to take the next step, you never see what God has for you. Hi, friends. Thanks for taking a couple minutes to stop by today as we grow together to change our mind to be more like Christ. I'm Pastor Josh, and I'm passionate about helping you take that next step spiritually so that together we can let God change our thinking. If these quotes would be helpful for you, would you consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell so that you can be aware of the next quote that I put out so that together we can grow on our journey with God. In today's quote, Pastor Mark Monty challenges us in his message on crossing over Jordan. I was challenged as I listened to this message about taking the next step. As we've entered a new year, many of us make decisions and commitments for this year that we will change. But many times we fail to watch God work, often because we don't take that next step. As we've made those decisions and commitments, maybe a New Year's resolution you call it, what will you do to take that next step? In Joshua chapter 3, verses 15 through 17, we see that the children of Israel had to take the next step in order to see God at work. And as they that bear the ark were come unto Jordan, and the feet of the priests that bear the ark were dipped in the brim of the water, for Jordan overfloweth all his banks all the time of harvest, that the waters which came down from above stood and rose up upon a heap very far from the city, Adam, that is beside Zaratan, and those that came down toward the sea of the plain, even the salt sea, failed, and were cut off. And the people passed over right against Jericho, and the priests that bear the ark of the covenant of the Lord stood firm on dry ground in the midst of Jordan. And all the Israelites passed over on dry ground until all the people were passed clean over Jordan. As the children of Israel were going into the promised land, they had to take the first step in order to watch God work. That's a truth that we can apply to our lives this year. Maybe it's a relationship that you're working on. Maybe there's some sin in your life that you really want to have victory over and want to watch God at work in your life this year. Maybe there's a life-changing decision that you really believe God wants you to make. Have you taken that first step? Perhaps for you the first step is talking with a godly mentor or your pastor to help you as you make decisions for life. Whatever the first step is that you need to take, would you prayerfully ask God to help you with His strength to take the first step so that you can watch God at work in your life? Not just this week, but at the end of 2019, you'll be able to look back and say, I'm so glad that I took that first step in God's strength and I watched God work. Remember, as we've been challenged by Pastor Mark Monty today, you will never see God work until you take that first step. Will you take that? Thanks for stopping by today. If this has been helpful to you, would you consider sharing it with a friend so that together we can let God change us and give us the mind of Christ? I look forward to seeing you next time.